Hello everyone, this is Brona Francis from KVAC from the Holler, and today I'm going to be talking to you about ripple effects and PBIS, the Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. Data-driven PBIS using ripple effects for positive behavior supports is what we're going to be talking about today. Positive behavior interventions and support, it's not a specific program as everyone knows, but it is a problem-solving framework for addressing behavior challenges in your school settings. The ripple effects is a host spectrum of intervention systems, and it fits neatly into the PBIS framework. It increases capacity to deliver personalized problem solving and emotional and behavior supports that address not just presenting behavior, not just the behaviors that are obvious and that you can see, but the underlying risk factors that students have that we don't always see, that they don't present themselves as openly as other behaviors. The ripple effects, we're going to talk about the 4 components for ripple effects. Okay, I think reliance in objective data, ripple effects assessment tools, dosage tracking app, and capacity to export data from correlation within the school-wide information system. It enables schools to use the objective data to drive their problem identification, decision-making, and intervention delivery and results. What this means is that we can rely on the objective data, that it's not skewed, and it's not biased. A tiered system of interventions, and we know we have the RTI interventions for academics and behavior. Ripple effects can be used for all 3 tiers of intervention: the universal training, the reinforcement for both teachers and students to promote positive school climate, standalone and or supplement to character education programs that you may already have in your schools, targeted interventions to prevent minor problems from becoming serious problems, and personalized support, and then to correct more serious behavior problems without suspending or expulsion or detention for students. The third one is the use of proven behavior modification strategies. Ripple effects uses continuous multiple systems of reinforcement with a strong emphasis on positive reinforcement through humor, motivational, game-style feedback, and a point structure. Ripple effects augments behavioral training with cognitive and effective skill training strategies that have also been proven effective. With the ripple effects program, you have a game that students can play that makes it fun. You have the case studies that students have recorded, real students with real problems, and those are some things that are attributes of the program. Cultural responsiveness, and we know that in each culture we have different problems, different social emotional problems, different social behavioral problems. Ripple effects provides a content framework that integrates issues of race, ethnicity, and culture to reduce disproportionality, ensure that that activities and outcomes equally benefit all students. And we have the audio, the video, the photographs, the drawings, all have been chosen to mirror the very diverse society in which students live. And when you look at the topics that are on the ripple effects, over 400 topics, you can see that it meets the different races, the different cultures, the different ethnic groups, and they're addressed in the professional development tutorials, and they raise consciousness and change behavior without blame or shame. And that's one of the big things that ripple effects does. It does not put blame or shame on a student. That is a major problem, and a major problem with getting to kids, getting to the at-risk kids and helping them without putting blame on them or without shaming them. Ripple effects and PBIS use ripple effects to deliver data-driven tiered behavioral interventions, and we've talked about that. Let Let me go back one. Ensure cultural responsiveness to reduce disproportionality. We've talked about that. And I'm going to let you just kind of look through that. And we know with some of the behaviors that students have, we have some legal issues with things that have happened in schools. And those are some of the things that we need to really be conscious of and be aware of. And not just the changing the behavior of the student, but be changing the behavior of the staff. It addresses both sides of the equation, the behavioral equation, the teachers and the students. We know that teachers and students both contribute to the dynamics of social behavior. You have some students that do not relate to certain teachers when they do relate to others better, and that's when the mentor-mentee programs or advisor-advisee programs can really flourish and help those students that are at risk. If a student has somebody that they can relate to and have a relationship with, they would have someone that they can talk to in terms of what's going on in their lives that's making these behaviors happen. And when you're talking about perception, you're talking about cultural differences. You know, when poverty plays into this, because we know that there are differences in students from poverty than students that have the supports at home that they need for school or to be successful. Promote positive school climate. That's one of the things. The scope and sequences are provided for character education, SEL curricula. Use Ripple Effects as a freestanding program, or you can use it as a lesson-to-lesson supplement to other evidence-based programs, such as Second Step. I know a lot of Head Start classes use Second Step. Positive Action, PASS, School Connect, Community of Caring, and Social Decision Making. Ripple Effects can work with any of these as a freestanding program. You can students can do it individually. You can do it as a group. You can do it in small groups. Those are some of the things that Ripple Effects is really an appropriate program that would work for students. And when we're talking about promoting positive school climate, when you have all those universal procedures that the school has, what that will take, that'll be the universal procedures. That takes care of Tier 1, where the students can, everyone knows the procedures and they can do those. And that can cut out on a lot of small behavior problems that are not, that do not have any underlying issues. It might just be, it just might be a case of location or how many kids are going to the bathroom at one time, those kinds of things. Provide targeted prevention. And this is where when you talk about students, and this program right here, Why Try, Ripple Effects will work well with that one also. Scope and sequences are provided for violence, bullying, and biased activity prevention, pregnancy prevention, alcohol, tobacco. All these topics are in the Ripple Effects. And students can individualize that. What one student might need, another one may not. But when you look at targeting prevention, if you have a student that is being bullied, or a student that is a bully, then those targeted lessons, those targeted topics can be implemented for their learning. And this is just the second part of that. Whether as a part of the PBIS or the RTI framework in school suspension, special ed, alternative education, all those, Ripple Effects is unparalleled, proven effective, culturally responsive way to provide supportive interventions at far less cost than others. And most of our schools, we have 70 schools that have access to the Ripple Effects that did an application, and this program is free to them, and they can use it as long as they want. And I really, really, really hope that everyone is taking advantage of this program. And if you're not, you're missing out on a big key, a big part that can help you with your positive school culture and for your at-risk kids. Just a couple, 2 or 3 testimonials from people that are in the education field and people that are in the mental health fields. One of them said the easier we can make it for faculty to teach these behaviors, the better. Ripple effects makes it easier. It's all right there for you. And you have your PD for staff also. It's a way to teach social skills that's user-friendly. And this is someone from PBIS coordinator from North Carolina. And another one says, I can't rave about it too much. Every single time they use it, kids get caught up in it. I'm seeing kids solve their problems and turn themselves around. And that's one of the big things. Kids solving their own problems or understanding their problems, that they're not alone and that they're not the only person in the world that has this issue or this problem or that is at risk. If a kid comes in, is engaged, finishes their task, acts appropriately, and goes back to their classroom, that's success. They get engaged. Kids with attention problems get into it. And that's the whole key. We don't want to serve punitive consequences on students when it's not necessary. Being proactive is the necessary part. If a kid has a problem, we can come in and we can do a ripple effects lesson, and they can go back to their classroom and then become engaged. Those are the kinds of things that we need. We don't, when we start suspending kids, we're not solving the problem. We're not helping them. We're adding to it. So I'm just here to say, if you're not using ripple effects, please look at it. If you're not sure it's in your school, let me know and I'll tell you. And so I really think it is a big, big benefit for students, for at-risk students, all students. And one of the things that we don't know is some kids have underlying issues that we can't see. And those are real hard issues to dig into. So I hope you get on there and you use the Ripple Effects program. But thank you for joining me today. This has been Bronna Francis at the Holler. Bye.